We live in a world that's obsessed with being busy, right? So today, we're going to talk about something that feels, well, like a radical act of rebellion. It's not about doing more, it's about being more. We're going to learn the art of bathing in sunshine.
Okay, so listen to this. Take off your clothes and bathe in the warm sunshine. Now, that's a quote from Erwan Lacour. And look, he's not just talking about getting a tan here. In our culture, a culture that's just completely obsessed with productivity, the simple act of feeling the sun on your skin, it almost feels defiant, doesn't it? But here's the thing. This isn't about being lazy. Not at all. It's actually a really profound invitation.
And that invitation, man, it gets right to the heart of a conflict I think we all feel. It's that constant pull, The tension between being fully present, right here, right now, and that relentless pressure to plan, to produce, to hustle for some future that's always just a little bit out of reach.
So, this constant focus on what's next, it creates what you could call the tyranny of later. And that's a powerful phrase. It's basically a mindset where you're always mortgaging the present for a tomorrow that, let's be honest, never quite seems to arrive.
You've heard this a million times. Ralph Waldo Emerson said it perfectly. Life is a journey, not a destination. And we all kind of nod along, right? We see it on motivational posters. But how often do we actually live like that? We're so conditioned to just stare at the finish line that we totally miss the beauty of the path that's right under our feet.
So this really breaks down into two totally different ways of thinking. On one side, you've got destination thinking. That's when you're always counting down the days until your next vacation or waiting for that big promotion. And on the other side, there's journey thinking. That's where you're focused on the task right in front of you, making every single moment, every rep actually count. The first one trades the reality of now for a fantasy of later. But there's a great antidote for this. The physician William Osler had the perfect advice. He said basically, forget about the giant mountain way off on the horizon. Instead, just focus on the task at your elbow. That immediate, tangible thing right in front of you. That is where life is actually happening.
So the antidote to this whole tyranny of later thing, it isn't some complex productivity hack or a new app. Nope. It's something much, much simpler. And it brings us right back to our main idea today, the art of presence, the art of bathing in sunshine.
Okay, so when we say bathing in sunshine, it's really important to know this isn't about being idle or lazy. Think of it more as a deep, receptive kind of presence. It's about consciously stripping away all the noise, the to-do lists, the anxieties, the 5-year plans, just so you can fully absorb what's real and happening in this very moment. It's a seriously powerful form of attention.
And what's so wild is that this kind of presence, this is exactly what you need to discover your purpose, or what some people call their calling. It's not something you find by frantically searching for it. It's found through patient listening.
Let me tell you a quick story about this. The writer Stephen Pressfield, he was once just haunted by 2 sentences that popped into his head. I have always been a soldier. I have known no other life. He just knew it was the start of a book, but he had absolutely no idea whose voice it was.
So what did he do? He didn't force it. He just sat with them for months. Can you imagine? He just lived in that state of not knowing, that patient uncertainty that's so crucial for any kind of creative work. You could say he was basically bathing in the sunshine of that mystery.
And then, one day, just like that, the answer arrived. It just came to him. It's Alexander the Great. And that's how his incredible book, The Virtues of War, was born. It's such a perfect example of how purpose doesn't always come from a frantic search. Sometimes you just have to create the quiet space for it to find you.
But let's be real. As the author Robert Greene points out, it's not usually a single lightning bolt moment like that. For most of us, finding our life's work is a process. It takes continual introspection and effort. It's really more like an ongoing conversation you have with yourself.
So, if introspection is the key, what's the key to introspection? What actually allows for it? Well, the answer is something our culture often looks down on, sees as a weakness, but it's actually a massive source of strength, and that is the urgency of rest.
Now, I know this is a really challenging idea, especially in our achievement-addicted world. The most urgent and vital thing you can possibly do is take a complete rest? It sounds crazy, right? But yes, absolutely, because without it, everything else just falls apart.
Think about it. Without rest, we get stuck in this nasty downward spiral. First, you've got no time for recovery. Then, pretty soon you lose the capacity for that deep introspection we were just talking about. And when that happens, the muse, your source of inspiration and creativity, it just stops calling. And why? Because you're literally too busy to even answer the phone.
So many of us treat our bodies like they're an obstacle to getting our work done. But the truth is, your body isn't an obstacle. It's the instrument. It's the very thing through which your life's work gets done. So respecting its need for rest, for sunshine, for fresh air, that's not some frivolous luxury. It is absolutely foundational.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually weave these ideas, presence, purpose, rest, into our day-to-day lives? Well, it actually comes down to a really simple practical framework. Let's call it the art of showing up.
It really just boils down to three things. Three simple commitments. Number one, just show up. That means be present, be available to the moment, whatever it brings. Number two, give honest effort. And listen, this is not about perfection. It's about genuine engagement with that task at your elbow. And finally, number three, make a difference. Aim for your work, whether it's big or small, to be of service to other people.
In that last principle, man, this piece of wisdom from Buddha just captures it perfectly. Happiness comes when your work and your words are of help to yourself and others. See, true happiness isn't about the fame or the money. It's found when what you do actually helps people. It's what connects your personal effort to a much larger purpose.
Okay, so all of this, it leads us to an ultimate perspective shifter, a really powerful tool the ancient Stoics used to get crystal clear on what truly matters. And that is living with a constant awareness of our own mortality.
The phrase for it is memento mori. It means, remember you will die. Now, I know that sounds super morbid, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to be an awakening. It's a tool to just cut through all the nonsense and focus you on what is truly, truly essential in this one precious life that you have.
Because when you really live with the end in mind, your priorities just naturally start to shift. It stops being about accumulating more stuff, and it starts being about collecting meaningful moments. It becomes about leaving something good behind, something that will outlive you. And it gives you that serenity to accept what you can't change and the courage to change what you can.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. It's about the story your life is telling, right now, in this very moment. Through your choices, through where you put your attention, through your presence, what's the good word that you are speaking into the world?